Hello and welcome to Three Questions With. Got my buddy Kevin with us today. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you very much, Kevin. And I love your name, Kevin. I thank you very much for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
So why don't we jump right in? Tell us a little bit about your business. What do you do?
Well, I do. It's more it's more about what I do for people. I'm a mindset coach, and I help people switch their mindsets. I help people get over, get around, get through obstacles that are getting in the way of having success. And we see that every day. This is something that we all run into. We have fears, obviously. We have anxiety. That's very common nowadays, so much more common. And we also have limiting beliefs. And these limiting beliefs, sometimes we're aware of them. Sometimes we say to ourselves, well, you know, I could do this if I were this age, or if I had this degree, if I had this or that. We have all these limiting beliefs. But sometimes we're not even aware of them. And the most common belief that I find people have that gets in their way is a belief around money. And that's something they're usually not aware of because, you know, they grew up and they might have heard, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, or money's the root of all evil, or this or that. And then they become adults and they try to be wealthy. And they've heard all this stuff, or heard all this stuff about wealthy people sometimes too. And back in their mind, there's something saying, hey, you can't do that. You don't want to do that. So that's kind of the stuff. I work with all of that to get all of that out of the way so that people can really move forward in an incredible way to get to that next level in what they're doing, whatever it is. And it does. I work with a lot of business owners, right? I work with CEOs in business. However, I also work with people who are having a hard time in their life, having a hard time in relationships, having a hard time in health. So that getting to that next level can have all the same obstacles, and no matter what part of your life it is.
So Kevin, I want to pick on the relationship one first, because what I've seen happen is if somebody comes from an environment where maybe their parents are divorced, a lot of people they know are divorced, it impacts their ability to be in relationships, because as it starts to grow and they're going to get to that next level, maybe they're going to marry the person. Like, I don't want to go there because I assume it's going to end in divorce. And I've seen how my parents interact negatively towards each other when they're divorced. That your experience impacts you, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because at certain, especially if parents get divorced at a young age, when we're young, we actually make decisions, you know, and when I say make decisions, I don't mean consciously. I mean, unconsciously make decisions based on what's happening around us. And so I'll give you, for instance, my very first business client I had. He came to me, he recognized he was sabotaging his business every so often when his business got to a certain revenue level. And it was a good revenue level, by the way. He sabotaged. He stopped doing the things that was bringing in the new business. He stopped doing the things that would actually bring business from former clients. And then his revenue would go way down. So what happened was, we found out through the work I do that when he was just 6 years old, his father had this phenomenal business in Florida, and they were doing really well. And a business partner blew everything up, and they lost everything. And it caused a rift between his mother and his father, and they had to move. And he didn't remember that, but that's what happened at that time when it all came back. And at that time, he made the decision, doing really good in business wasn't good for you. And so we had to get rid of. That's a limiting belief he didn't know about. It's a limiting belief, and I call it a decision because part of you makes that decision. It's almost a choice. And I have to get my clients to realize that, because when they realize that, it's so easy to back it out. It's so easy to get rid of it. So yeah, so things like that. And obviously that caused relationship issues with him too. So a year later, I found out that he moved to a bigger city, he had a bigger firm, and he got married. And he hadn't been, you know, he hadn't had good relationships, as far as I know, for all that time, and everything went through. So yes, relationships, big thing. I work on that a lot with my clients because of the models that we have as young kids. We just take it for granted. This is the way it's supposed to be, or this will happen if this happens. And so, we pick up all this stuff. And you know what? I do things in a matter of a few sessions where it typically takes a couple of years in therapy. A couple of years. I can get rid of phobias in a single session. I do it in 3 sessions because anything that's impacted around the phobia, I take it. So, but truthfully, the actual phobia itself can go away in a single session, where it takes 16 weeks in normal therapy to get rid of a phobia. So the stuff I do is different and quick, and I've been doing this since 2005. So I've been doing this for a little while.
Yep. So Kevin, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more, my friend?
Oh, they can reach out to me through CNLP coaching.com. That's pretty easy. It's CNLP, Center for Next Level Performance coaching.com. And you can reach me there. You can reach me if you're watching this on Facebook, Kevin Martin and Lowell. You'll find me easily enough. So you can reach out to me any of those ways.
Awesome.
Or would you like me to give an email as well?
Please.
Kevin at cnlpcoaching.com.
Kev, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to call into the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And thanks for being a friend of Kevin as well.